All right, how's it going, everybody? The king taking it out on those men that had tricked him for yesterday's Bible study. You should be watching Daniel from the very beginning, though, but hopefully you're catching these in succession on the playlist on the channel. Just click playlist and click Daniel study. Well, what do you mean by that? So you'll automatically be taken to videos, but if you click playlist, and there's James, there's I, Pet, Goat, Buck, Full Moon, the two witnesses, Ephesians, Daniel 10th study. Okay, so it's the fifth playlist down. And yeah, just started at the beginning. Please, because I don't want to keep going over the same stuff all the time. All right, we go to James chapter 5. James is a very different, because, well, it's written by James. And most all the other epistles are Paul or Peter. I think Luke wrote Hebrews because of the way it's written. People always try to think about who wrote it, and it doesn't have an author. Warning to the rich. I want to read the King James. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as if it were fire. I told you, this is a different epistle. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days. Behold, the hire of laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth and cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabbath. I think that's what it says. The Lord of heaven's armies. Sabaoth. Then that was a different kind of word. Ye have lived in pleasure on earth and been wanton. Ye have nourished your hearts as in a day of slaughter. Ye have condemned and killed the just, and he doth not resist you. Be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth, and have long patience for it, until he receive the early and later rain. So I was wondering, this did sort of sound like James was very upset at Mystery Babylon and talking about the end times. That's sort of what I read out of that. What do y'all think? So 5, 6, 7. You have spent your years on the earth in luxury, satisfying your every desire. You have fattened yourselves for the day of slaughter. So that's when they kill the church, is it not? And condemned and killed the innocent and so forth. Hang on, please. As in a day of slaughter, which would be what the Bible also refers to as the day of evil, Proverbs 16:4, which is one of the verses that we use to make sure that you understand that God has ordained everything, even, of course, the evil of the earth. I mean, don't give Satan so much credit. The Lord have made all things for himself. Yes, even the wicked for the day of evil. The day of evil is the abomination of desolation, which kicks off the day of slaughter for the church. So I'm wondering if that's what he's talking about, because then he starts to talk about waiting for the Lord's return, which I think is 3.5. No man knows the hour or the day. Excuse me. I think the day of slaughter or the slaughtering ends 3.5 days later, per the two witnesses that I think represents the church. That is just my best guess on the end times book of Revelations. It is calculated guessing, but it is guessing just the same. Let's go back to the King James. Be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. So see, it's talking about the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waiteth and precious fruit of the earth. We read that. That's right. You be also patient. Yeah, okay. Be ye also patient. Establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh. And he's talking about once all of that slaughter begins. Grudge not one another against one another, brethren, lest ye be condemned. Behold, the judge standeth before the door. Take my brethren, the prophets who have spoken in the name of the Lord, for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience. All right, very good. Now let's move to Daniel, thrown into the lion's den. A stone was brought and laid upon the mouth of the den, and the king sealed it with his own signet, and with the signet of his lords, that the purpose might not be changed concerning Daniel. Then the king went to his palace and passed the night fasting. Neither were instruments of music brought before him, and his sleep went from him. Then the king arose very early in the morning and went in haste unto the den of lions. And when he came to the den, he cried with a lamentable voice unto Daniel. And the king spake and said to Daniel, O Daniel, servant of the living God, is thy God whom thou servest continually able to deliver thee from the lions? Then Daniel said unto the king, O king, live forever. My God hath sent his angel and have shut the lions' mouths, that they have not hurt me, for as much as before him innocency was found in me, and also before thee, O king, have I done no hurt. Then was the king exceedingly glad for him, and commanded that they should take Daniel up out of the den. So Daniel was taken up out of the den, and no manner of hurt was found upon him, because he believed in his God. Tomorrow we will get to what the king then does to those men that brought all of this before the king and put the king through this. Because the king was put through way more than Daniel was, as y'all have read. I love you very much. Ask questions anytime. That's what I'm here for.